Bantamweights look to brawl when former TPF title challenger Joe Neal squares off against Alex Rojas. After more than a year away from the cage, Joe 9 Lives Neal returns to action for the first time since going the distance with former champion Rolando Velasco. A Bellator veteran, Neal looks to pick up a win tonight, reminding everyone why he was once the #1 contender. In his way is the hard-hitting veteran Alex Rojas. Fighting out of Fresno, Rojas looks to return to action for the first time since 2014. Tonight, he looks for the biggest win of his career when he looks to take out a former title challenger. Coming up next, it's Joe 9 Lives Neal facing Alex First Blood Rojas.
All right, here we go, guys. Fight number 3, and we have had 2 fights, 2 fairly quick finishes, Leslie, and let's see what's going to happen here in this one. And this should be good, Rojas and Neal. And this is one of the ones you were waiting for. Joe Neal's the guy that you train with.
Yeah, Joe 9 Lives Neal. He is a training partner of mine over at El Nino Training Center. He is not the one walking out right now, though. Right now, First Blood is on his way to the cage, Alex Rojas.
Alex Rojas, born right up the road here in Fresno, California, actually, not too far from Lemoore. And his last fight as well was a long time ago, Leslie, October of 2014, and he lost that fight, so 3 years since we've seen him, and he is back here to fight Joe Neal, and this should be a great fight.
It should be. You know, something about records, sometimes it's hard to get to hear everything when you talk about a record. It was a split decision, his last fight.
Right.
So just calling it a loss doesn't acknowledge how close it was.
Absolutely, and he's 2-2 in his last 4 fights, so not necessarily on a losing streak. And Alex Rojas, a great fighter out of Reedley, California, and this should be a good one with Joe Neal.
Absolutely.
I can't wait for this one.
Alex's wins, he's 4-5. He's got 1 TKO and 3 subs. So when he wins fights, he does it very excited.
He finishes them.
Exactly.
Absolutely. He is a finisher, is Alex Rojas. And tonight he has a big chore in front of him with Joe Neal. Here's the accolades from the crowd. As I said, he's not too far from here, his hometown of Fresno, California. And here comes the guy you train with, Joe Neal. And let me just point this out. He's lost 2, but prior to that, he went 5-0. So he rattled off 5 big wins. Just had a little rough patch here toward the end, and he's looking to rebound back from that tonight as he takes on First Blood Alex Rojas. And here he comes. He's pumped up. He's got that Scrap Pack hat on. Leslie Smith is a Scrap Packer.
Yes, he does. Totally representing. The whole team is behind him right now. He did have that 5-fight win streak. A couple, two losses since then, but he's looking to get right back onto a 5-fight win streak, and that's something that not many people can claim in any level as a 5-fight win streak. He's never been stopped in a fight. His losses have only come by decision, so he's looking to start that win streak up again tonight.
And his last fight was a decision loss to Rolando Velasco. Now, let's not take anything away from Rolando Velasco out of Oakdale. He is a tremendous fighter in his own right, held a lot of gold here and other places as well. So Joe Neal is an upper echelon top fighter out here on the West Coast. And as you said, training with the Scrap Pack, El Nino, and you're talking about training with guys like Jake Shields, Gilbert Melendez, Nick and Nate Diaz, you know, just a great camp. So this should be a tremendous fight.
Absolutely.
And here is the tale of the tape. It is 9 Lives versus First Blood. And this is a little bit closer than we saw in the last fight. We've got about an inch difference in height. Shouldn't be too much of a reach difference. Both these fighters are short, compact, and strong, 30-31, so it's very close. And you're looking at First Blood's record at 4-5, and of course 9 Lives 5-2. But as we said, he did win 5 of those in a row. So he has the ability to go on a run, Leslie.
Totally. And bantamweights. I love watching the bantamweights. I like seeing the movement.
Said by a bantamweight.
Yes.
And let's go up for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, this Tachi Palace fight will be 3 5-minute rounds in the bantamweight division. This bout is being brought to you by California Trust Frame. And now, introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, making his long-awaited return, standing 5 feet 7 inches tall, he weighed in at 134 pounds. He represents the Dream Fight Shop with a mixed martial arts record of 4 wins and 5 defeats. He hails from Reedley, California. Please welcome Alex First Blood Rojas. his opponent fighting out of the red corner stands 5 feet 6 inches tall. He weighed in at 135 pounds. He represents El Nino Training Center with a mixed martial arts record of 5 wins and 2 defeats. He hails from Hayward, California. Please welcome Joe Nine Lives Neal. Your referee for this bout will be Mark Lawley.
So here we go, Leslie, and as we move up this card, now we're looking at one of these exciting bantamweight fights, and it is Alex Rojas in the white trunks and your teammate Joe Neal in the black trunks. Now you got to call this down the middle, Leslie. There's no being biased here.
None. Of course not.
Mark Lawley gets him started. They will touch hands, and here we go.
So we've got the orthodox versus the non-orthodox stance.
Absolutely.
That opens up the rear kick a whole lot. See if either of these guys use it.
Alex Rojas fighting left-handed here, at least to start this fight, and there's a nice outside leg kick from Joe Neal. And you see it, this is a much slower start than we saw in these last couple fights. These guys are in more of a feeling out process here. Both of them respect the power clearly of the other fighter.
I never used to believe in starting off slow and feeling people out. I just wanted to get to it, but there's something about getting more fights. You sort of learn more. Absolutely. And between these two, there are 16 fights between them.
And so far, mostly what we've seen is kicks from Joe Neal. We've seen a midsection kick, an outside leg kick, an inside leg kick, and there he gets out of the way of that left hand of Alex Rojas. And Rojas threatening with the leg, but has yet to throw it. And again, ooh, there's a nice left hand
solid by Joe Neal.
And Rojas tried to retaliate, but Neal was not there when that punch came through, and there's another inside leg kick. And it looks to me like he's gonna try to pick those legs apart as this fight moves on. And now Rojas fires back with a leg kick of his own. And Neal comes in with a big right hand followed by a left, and Rojas gets out of the way.
Man, Neal's doing a great job of finding a home for his hands.
And still just sort of a feeling out process. Neal, though, when he throws things, he's throwing them with bad intentions. There's a lot of power behind everything he throws, and there's a right-left combo. The left missed. Right was glancing. There's a leg kick that is blocked by Rojas.
Oh, and now we got a switch stance from Alex.
Once again, it is Tachi Palace Fights 31, and we are just getting underway here. We've had a few fights, and now we are looking at these two amazing bantamweights. And there Rojas got a little left in there, but he ate one as well.
I'm going to say Joe Neal is definitely getting the better of the stand-up so far.
He looks like he could be headhunting, Leslie. He's looking to land some power, and he's mixing the kicks and the punches in well. He's changing levels. Rojas is going to have to do something, maybe even clinch up here a little bit, or maybe find a different range, because he is right in the pocket against Neal, and Neal, as you said, is landing.
Yeah, this would be a good time for maybe a slight change of the game plan for Alex Rojas. After seeing that he's not the one who's landing the most, maybe looking to push the action, not just hanging out at the end of the punches.
Right down the center, right down the pipe there was a right hand from Neal, and right when you said he needed to change it, Neal landed a left and a right, and he is landing at will right now. And he's not really using the jab per se in a traditional form, Leslie. He's not just sticking it out there, double jabbing or anything. He's really throwing power in both hands.
Yeah.
And there, Rojas got out of the way. Rojas looks like he's trying to solve the riddle. What do I do here to avoid getting punched?
He hasn't taken any serious damage yet. Yeah, you're right. He's trying to figure out what he's going to do, but he can't just hang out there and keep taking punches because he's getting down on the scorecard.
Absolutely. Points are being scored. Nice left hand there from Joe Neal. If you're just joining us, Jim Curry, the voice of champions, along with UFC bantamweight Leslie Smith. It is Alex Rojas in the white trunks, Joe Neal in the black. Bantamweight battle here at TPF 31, and there's another big left hand from Joe Neal that finds a home. For his part, though, as you said, Rojas has not gotten hurt. He's not gotten rattled. He's staying in the pocket. Maybe he thinks he can wear Joe Neal down a little bit and then start landing some strikes of his own.
Yeah, I mean, he's gotten in a couple. It's not completely one-sided right here, right now. I just think that Joe is getting the best of it so far.
And another kick from Joe Neal. Again, don't forget, Alex Rojas has not been in a mixed martial arts cage in 3 years, and that's quite a layoff.
You know what I like about both of these guys is how much they're using their feints.
Absolutely.
Man, Neal is just throwing that straight right and landing it. It's sending Rojas's head snapping back.
What can Rojas do here to stop getting, I mean, obviously he's going to have to circle away from that power, which he's not doing right now. He was circling toward the power, and he's just staying right in the center. Bring it. I mean, clearly he's not getting hurt from these shots, Leslie.
Well, what Rojas could do is he could start putting the pressure on. Instead of standing there and waiting, he could start keeping his jab inside of Joe Neal's face, and that will throw off the other person's opposition a little bit.
Absolutely, and that is the end of round one. And it looked to me like maybe Rojas was looking to counterpunch and just hasn't been able to get off as of yet. We'll take a look at some highlights from that first round, but mostly the story of that round was Joe Neal landing strikes and Rojas perhaps looking to counter. And as we go back and look at some of the highlights here, there's a big left from Neal that lands, and Rojas just backs up. There's a big right that lands, and Rojas backs up. And there's a left-left-right combination from Joe Neal, and he is finding a home, as you said, Leslie, for that right hand and the left hand throughout that entire first round.
So in this round, I don't know what Alex Rojas's corner is telling him, but he can't just sit there and be a target. He needs to be throwing stuff out. He needs to be throwing jabs. He needs to be moving. He needs to be faking the takedown, throwing kicks. He needs to be doing things so that Joe cannot just pick and choose his shots the way that he is right now.
How much of that is Rojas came into this fight planning to perhaps counterpunch and counter strike, and it's just not working? Or how much is it of they didn't really have a game plan? What do you think it is?
You know, it's really hard to say. I didn't get a chance to talk to Rojas and hear his game plan ahead of time, but that's why there's 26 letters in the alphabet, is because if the first one doesn't work, then you need to go to all the rest of them. Okay, maybe that's not why the alphabet was done like that, but it's a good way to use it.
It was a good analogy. Here we go, round number two. Joe Neal in the black, Rojas in the white. The story of the first round was the strikes of Joe Neal. Can Rojas turn that around? He keeps doing that little waggle right there.
Well, you know, the waggle would make more sense if he was throwing that kick. If he was throwing that kick and he had done damage. That's when a fake is the most effective, is if you've already hurt somebody with something and then you fake it and they're like, oh, I don't want to get hurt by that again. And that's when they react.
That uppercut hurt and this fight's over, Leslie Smith. And I was just going to say that Alex Rojas landed a leg kick, and then the second one was checked by Joe Neal, and then Joe Neal just came with a thunderous right uppercut that immediately did damage to Alex Rojas, and he went down holding his eye, and the referee immediately stopped the fight. I think Joe Neal may have got one or two hammer fists in at the end there, and Joe Neal is pumped up.
Oh man, I hope that we get to see the replay of that uppercut. That was so solid. That was well done.
Over here at
Joe
the
Neal
broadcast
representing for the Scrap Pack.
Joe Neal over here screaming at his teammate Leslie Smith. That's how it's done, and here's the replay. You're going to see a thunderous right uppercut from Joe Neal that just hits the mark on point. Bam! And I mean, it was right on the mark, and down went Alex Rojas, and Joe Neal landed 3 hammer fists unanswered, and Mark Lawley was already on his way in to stop that contest, and there you see Joe Neal jump up on the cage, and he is fired up, Leslie.
That was a great stoppage. It was done at the right time. He was hurt. He was not coming back up. That was, man, was that our third stoppage of the night already?
Absolutely, and I got to tell you, Joe Neal's hands look tremendous. I mean, his striking has improved by leaps and bounds from the last time I saw him. He's always been a tremendous striker, but tonight his striking was really on display against Alex Rojas, and now in a show of sportsmanship, he will go over and check on his downed opponent. And that's what we like to see here at Tachi Palace, and of course in all of MMA. It truly is a sport, Leslie.
All right, and the crowd is clapping. Happy to see Rojas on his feet.
And he is up on his feet. He took a big uppercut, but he's a gamer. And we will see Alex Rojas back in a TPF cage, I apologize, very soon, I'm quite sure, as the doctor looks him over. We will go up and get the official decision from the Iron Man, the voice of Tachi Palace, Tyson Johnson.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 35 seconds into round number 2, your referee Mark Lawley stops the bout due to strikes. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by way of TKO, Joe 9 Lives Neal.
So there you have it. Joe Neal of El Nino Training Center, scrap packer in his own right, taking the victory over Alex Rojas after a tremendous striking clinic that he put on in both the first round and the second round, of course, finishing it with punches. TKO victory for Joe Neal. 9 lives, and he still got all 9.
Yes, he does. No lives were left in this cage.
And we're going to go back and look at this replay, and there's a couple of those big strikes landed by Neal. And Rojas, he wanted to counterpunch Leslie, and he never just got the chance. And there's that big uppercut, and down went Rojas, and there's the finish, and Mark Lawley calls a stop to that contest. Great fight.